Stop overthinking before it destroys your peace. The quiet war inside your mind. There is a quiet war that many people fight every day. No one sees it, no one hears it, but it is always there. It happens inside the mind. It is the war of overthinking. You wake up in the morning. Before your feet even touch the floor, your mind is already running. It remembers a mistake from yesterday. It worries about something that might happen tomorrow. It asks questions again and again. What if I fail? What if people judge me? What if I choose the wrong path? These thoughts grow like weeds, slowly, silently. They fill the garden of your mind. At first, they look small, just a simple thought, just a small worry. But if you feed them with attention, they become stronger. They grow roots, they spread everywhere, and soon your mind feels crowded, heavy, tired. This is the trap of overthinking. Many people believe that thinking more will solve their problems. They believe that if they analyze every detail, they will find the perfect answer. But life does not work that way. Overthinking rarely creates clarity. It usually creates confusion. Imagine standing at a crossroads. Two paths are in front of you. You could choose either one. Instead of walking, you stay there. You think. You analyze. You imagine every possible future. You picture every possible mistake. Hours pass. Days pass. But you are still standing in the same place. This is what overthinking does. It keeps you stuck. Movement stops. Life waits. Your mind becomes a prison built from thoughts. The strange thing is that the door of this prison is not locked, but many people do not see the door. They believe the prison is real. They believe they must stay inside. But the truth is simple. Your thoughts are not your master. They are only tools. A hammer can build a house, but if you swing it wildly, it can also break things. The mind works the same way. It can solve problems. It can create ideas. It can imagine beautiful futures. But if it never rests, it becomes destructive. It creates noise, endless noise. Overthinking often begins with fear. Fear is a powerful emotion. It tries to protect you. Long ago, fear helped humans survive. If you heard a strange sound in the forest, fear told you to be careful. It kept you alive. But today, the world is different. Most dangers are not wild animals. They are thoughts. Fear now whispers different messages. What if you embarrass yourself? What if you fail? What if people reject you? What if things go wrong? Your mind starts building stories. These stories feel real, but they are only imagination. A movie playing inside your head. The problem is that your brain cannot always tell the difference between imagination and reality. If you imagine danger, your body reacts as if the danger is real. Your heart beats faster, your muscles become tense, your breath becomes shallow, and suddenly you feel stress, all because of a thought. Overthinking creates a storm inside the mind. The storm is made of questions. Why did I say that? What did they mean? What if I fail? What if I lose everything? These questions repeat again and again, but they rarely bring answers. They only bring more questions. Your mind becomes like a spinning wheel, turning, turning, never stopping. And when the mind never stops, peace disappears. Peace cannot live in a noisy mind. Peace needs space. It needs silence. It needs calm. Think about a lake. When the water is calm, you can see the bottom clearly, the stones, the plants, the reflection of the sky. But when the water is shaking and moving, everything becomes blurry. You cannot see anything clearly. The mind works exactly the same way. When your thoughts move too fast, clarity disappears. You cannot see truth. You cannot see solutions. You only see confusion. Many people try to fight their thoughts. They try to push them away. They say, I should not think this way. But fighting thoughts often makes them stronger. Imagine someone saying, "Do not think about a red apple." What happens? Immediately you see a red apple in your mind. The harder you try not to think about it, the more it appears. This is why forcing your mind rarely works. The real power is not in fighting thoughts. The real power is in understanding them. Thoughts are like clouds in the sky. They appear, they move, and eventually they disappear. But the sky remains. Your mind is the sky. Your thoughts are the clouds. Some clouds are dark, some clouds are light, but none of them stay forever. When you understand this, something changes. You stop believing every thought. You stop reacting to every fear. Instead, you begin to observe. You watch your thoughts the way you watch clouds moving across the sky. One thought appears, you notice it, then you let it pass. Another thought appears, you notice it, then you let it pass. Slowly, the mind begins to calm down. Space returns. Silence returns. Peace returns. But this does not happen in one day. The habit of overthinking takes time to build, and it takes time to change. Think of your mind like a garden. If you plant seeds of worry every day, worry will grow. If you plant seeds of fear every day, fear will grow. But you can choose different seeds. Seeds of patience, seeds of courage, seeds of calm. Each thought you give attention to becomes stronger. So the question is simple. Which thoughts will you feed, and which thoughts will you let go? Your life is shaped by this choice, because thoughts influence emotions, and emotions influence actions. If your mind is full of fear, your actions become small. If your mind is full of doubt, your steps become slow. But when your mind becomes calm, your actions become clear. You move forward with confidence. Overthinking steals something precious from your life. It steals the present moment. Instead of living now, you live in imaginary futures. Instead of experiencing today, you replay yesterday. But life only exists here, in this moment, right now. The sound around you, the air you breathe, the beating of your heart. This moment is the only place where life happens. And yet many people miss it. Their body is here, but their mind is somewhere else, lost in thoughts, lost in worries, lost in endless analysis. Imagine holding a beautiful flower. Its colors are bright, its scent is gentle. But instead of enjoying it, you keep asking questions. What if it dies tomorrow? What if I drop it? What if someone takes it away? Soon the joy disappears, not because the flower changed, but because your mind was somewhere else. Overthinking does the same thing with life. It steals the beauty of the present. It replaces wonder with worry. It replaces gratitude with fear. But here is the good news. Peace is never truly gone. It is only hidden behind noise. When the noise becomes quiet, peace appears again, like the sun behind clouds. The sun never disappears. The clouds only block your view. Your peace is the same. It is always there, waiting, patient, calm. When you begin to understand your thoughts instead of fearing them, something powerful happens. The prison walls start to fade, the door becomes visible, and you realize something surprising. You were never truly trapped. You only believed you were. The moment you see the door, you can take the first step outside, the first step toward freedom, the first step toward silence, the first step toward peace. And that step begins with a simple realization. You do not need to think about everything. You do not need to control every future. You do not need to solve every possible problem. Sometimes the bravest thing you can do is this. Stop. breathe, and allow your mind to rest. Because peace is not something you must create. Peace is something you uncover when overthinking finally stops. Part 2. The hidden habits that create overthinking and how to break them. Overthinking does not begin with big problems. It begins with small habits in the mind. These habits are quiet. They grow slowly. They feel normal. But day by day, they train the brain to worry, doubt, and analyze everything. Many people believe overthinking is their personality. They say, "This is just how my mind works." But that is not true. Overthinking is not who you are. It is something your mind has practiced for a long time. And anything practiced can be changed. To stop overthinking, you must first see the habits that feed it. When you see them clearly, you can begin to break them. The first hidden habit is constant self-watching. Some people live as if a camera is always pointed at them. Their mind observes every move. After a conversation, they review every word. They ask themselves many questions. Did I say something strange? Did they think I was awkward? Did I make a bad impression? Should I have said something different? The moment ends, but the mind keeps replaying it. This habit turns simple moments into mental puzzles. Instead of enjoying life, the mind studies life. Imagine a person walking through a beautiful forest, but instead of looking at the trees, the sky, and the sunlight, they keep looking at a mirror in their hand. They are watching themselves walk, instead of experiencing the forest. This is what constant self-monitoring does. It steals your attention from the present moment. Peace cannot live where attention is trapped inside endless self-analysis. To break this habit, you must move your attention outward. Look at the world. Notice small details. The sound of footsteps, the feeling of air on your skin, the rhythm of your breathing. When you listen deeply to another person, your mind becomes quiet. When you focus on what is around you, the noise inside becomes softer. Attention is like light. Where you shine it decides what grows. If you shine it on self-judgment, anxiety grows. If you shine it on the present moment, peace grows. The second hidden habit is the search for perfect decisions. Overthinkers often believe every decision must be perfect. They study every option. They compare every possibility. They imagine every future result. And still, they cannot decide. They fear choosing the wrong path, so they stay in the middle. But life does not reward endless thinking. Life rewards movement. Imagine standing at a road that splits into two paths. You stand there for hours thinking, which path is better, which path is safer, which path leads to success. Meanwhile, someone else chooses a path and begins walking. That person will learn from the road. They will see what works and what does not. They will grow stronger. But the person still standing at the crossroads learns nothing, because thinking is not the same as living. The truth is simple. Most decisions in life are not perfect or terrible. Most decisions are simply good enough. Progress comes from choosing a direction and moving forward. When you act, you gain new information. When you stay still, your mind fills the empty space with fear. Instead of asking what the best decision is, ask a better question. What is a good decision I can make today? Then make it. Small action is stronger than perfect thinking. Movement breaks the chains of overthinking. The third hidden habit is replaying the past. Many minds live in yesterday. They replay old conversations, old mistakes, old embarrassing moments. They repeat the same scene again and again, like a movie that never ends. You remember something awkward you said. Your body feels the embarrassment again. Your mind tries to change the past. You imagine what you should have said. But the past cannot hear you. It is already finished. Replaying it does not change it. It only reopens the emotion. Imagine touching a small wound again and again. It cannot heal if you keep reopening it. The mind does the same thing with memories. Learning from the past is healthy. Living inside the past is painful. There's an important difference. Learning asks one question: what did this teach me? Rumination asks a different question: why did this happen to me? One question moves you forward, the other traps you in circles. When a memory appears, pause. Take one lesson from it. One simple lesson is enough. Then release the memory. You do not need to collect 10 lessons from one moment. Life will bring you many teachers. The past should guide you. It should not imprison you.
The fourth hidden habit is imagining negative futures. The mind is very creative, but when it is afraid, it uses creativity in the wrong direction. It begins building dark stories about the future. What if everything goes wrong? What if I fail? What if people judge me? What if I lose everything? The mind becomes a movie director of disasters that do not exist, and the body reacts as if the danger is real. Your heart beats faster, your chest feels tight, your breathing becomes shallow, but nothing has happened yet, only imagination. The brain evolved to protect us from danger. Thousands of years ago, danger was real and immediate. Wild animals, harsh weather, life-threatening threats. Today, many threats are psychological, but the brain still reacts with the same alarm. The mind shouts danger even when the danger is only a thought. To break this habit, bring the mind back to reality. Ask a calm question. What is the most realistic outcome? Not the worst outcome, the realistic one. Most of the time, the real future is much simpler than the fearful story in your mind. Fear loves exaggeration. Reality is usually quieter. The fifth hidden habit is trying to control everything. Overthinkers often believe that if they think long enough, they can control every outcome. They try to predict every detail. They try to prevent every mistake. But life is not a machine. Life is a river. You can guide a boat on the river, but you cannot control every wave. Trying to control everything creates constant tension because the world does not follow perfect plans. Unexpected events will always appear. People will surprise you. Opportunities will arrive from strange places, and sometimes doors will close without warning. Peace begins when you accept a simple truth. You control your actions. You do not control every result. Your job is effort. The future is a collaboration between effort and uncertainty. When you release the need to control everything, your mind becomes lighter. You still act, you still plan, but you stop fighting the natural flow of life. The sixth hidden habit is comparing yourself to others. Comparison is one of the fastest ways to create overthinking. You see someone succeed, your mind begins asking questions. Why are they ahead of me? Am I falling behind? What if I never reach that level? Soon your thoughts become heavy. But comparison hides an important truth. You are seeing only a small part of another person's life. You see their highlights. You do not see their doubts. You see their victories. You do not see their long nights of struggle. Every journey is different. Some people start earlier. Some people start later. Some people run fast in the beginning. Some people build strength slowly. Life is not a race with one finish line. It is a landscape filled with many paths. Your path is unique. Peace grows when you focus on progress, not comparison. Instead of asking if you're better than someone else, ask a different question. Am I growing compared to yesterday? That question leads to confidence, because growth belongs to you alone. The seventh hidden habit is believing every thought. Many people think every thought in their mind must be true. If a thought appears, they treat it like a fact. But thoughts are not facts. Thoughts are mental events. They come and go like clouds. Some clouds bring rain. Some clouds pass quietly across the sky, but the sky itself remains calm. Your mind is the sky. Your thoughts are clouds. Overthinking happens when you chase every cloud. You try to analyze it. You try to control it. You try to understand it. But clouds move naturally when you let them pass. When a worrying thought appears, notice it. Do not fight it. Do not chase it. Simply observe it. Say quietly in your mind, "This is just a thought," and return your attention to what you are doing. Over time, thoughts lose their power when they are not fed with attention. The eighth hidden habit is staying too long in your head. The mind is powerful, but life is not meant to be lived only inside the mind. Action is the natural partner of thinking. When thinking becomes too long, energy becomes trapped. You feel restless, you feel heavy, you feel stuck. Movement releases mental pressure. Walk outside, clean your space, exercise, talk with someone, create something small. When the body moves, the mind follows. Stillness is powerful when it is calm, but stillness filled with anxious thinking becomes a cage. Balance thinking with action. Balance reflection with experience. Life is not solved by thinking alone. Life is understood through living. All these habits feed the same cycle. The mind tries to protect you, but it protects you too much. It analyzes every risk, every mistake, every possible future, and slowly, peace disappears. But awareness changes everything. Once you see these habits clearly, they lose their invisible power.
You begin noticing them in a real time. You catch the moment when the mind starts replaying the past. You catch the moment when fear builds imaginary futures. And in that moment, you have a choice. You can continue the old pattern, or you can gently step out of it. Breaking overthinking is not about forcing your mind to be silent. It is about guiding your attention toward what truly matters, toward the present moment, toward action, toward growth. Each time you do this, you train your mind in a new direction. Slowly, the mental noise becomes softer, the endless questions become fewer, and in the quiet space that appears, something beautiful returns: peace. Part 3. Powerful daily practices to stop overthinking and protect your inner peace. Peace is not something you find once and keep forever. Peace is something you practice every day. The mind is like a garden. If you leave it alone, weeds will grow. Overthinking is one of those weeds. It grows quietly, it spreads quickly, and if you do not care for your mind, it can cover everything. But the good news is simple. You do not need to control every thought to find peace. You only need to build better daily practices, small actions, simple habits, repeated again and again. These practices slowly retrain the mind. They teach the brain a new way to live, a calmer way, a clearer way, a peaceful way. The first practice is learning to pause. Overthinking often happens because the mind moves too fast. A situation happens, a thought appears, then another thought, then 10 more thoughts. Soon the mind is racing, but between every thought and every reaction, there is a small space, a pause. Most people never notice this space. They move from thought to reaction instantly. But when you learn to pause, everything changes. The pause is like stepping out of a rushing river and standing on the shore. You can see the water moving, but you are no longer carried by the current. When a stressful thought appears, stop for a moment. Take a slow breath. Let your shoulders relax. Feel the air entering your lungs. Then feel it leaving. One breath can interrupt the cycle of overthinking. 2 breaths make the mind quieter. 3 breaths begin to calm the body. Breathing is simple, but it is powerful. It brings your attention back to the present moment, and peace always lives in the present. The second practice is writing your thoughts down. Overthinking grows stronger inside the mind.
When thoughts stay inside your head, they begin to multiply. 1 worry becomes 2. 2 worries become 10. But something interesting happens when you write your thoughts on paper. They become clearer. They become smaller. Imagine carrying a heavy bag all day. Your shoulders feel tired, but when you place the bag on a table, you see its real size. Your worries are the same. When you write them down, you remove them from the chaos of the mind. Take a notebook. Write the thought exactly as it appears. Do not try to make it perfect, just write. Then read the sentence slowly. Ask yourself a calm question. Is this thought completely true? Often the answer is no. The mind exaggerates problems. Writing helps you see the difference between imagination and reality. Many great thinkers used writing to calm their minds. The Roman emperor and philosopher Marcus Aurelius wrote his thoughts every night. He did not write for others, he wrote to understand himself. You can do the same. A few minutes of writing can clear hours of mental noise. The third practice is taking small action. Overthinking feeds on inactivity. When you delay action, the mind fills the empty space with doubt. Questions appear. What if this fails? What if I am not ready? What if this goes wrong? But action breaks this pattern. Even a small step can quiet the mind. Imagine standing at the edge of cold water. You think about the temperature. You imagine how uncomfortable it will feel. You hesitate. But the moment you step in, the waiting ends. Your body adapts. Your fear disappears faster than you expected. Life works the same way. Thinking about action creates anxiety. Taking action creates momentum. If a task feels overwhelming, break it into the smallest step possible. Write 1 sentence, make 1 phone call, read 1 page, clean 1 corner of your room. Small action creates movement. Movement creates progress, and progress silences many unnecessary thoughts. The fourth practice is limiting mental noise. Modern life fills the mind with endless information. Phones vibrate, notifications appear, news updates arrive every minute. Social media shows thousands of opinions every day. Your brain was never designed to process so much information. When the mind receives too many signals, it becomes overwhelmed. Overthinking increases. Peace decreases. Protecting your mental space is essential. Create small periods of silence in your day. Turn off notifications. Step away from screens. Sit quietly for a few minutes.
Walk outside without music or podcasts. At first, silence may feel strange, but soon you will notice something beautiful. Your mind begins to slow down. Your thoughts become clearer. Your breathing becomes deeper. Silence is not empty. Silence is where peace grows. The fifth practice is focusing on what you can control. Many thoughts come from worrying about things outside your control. You worry about other people's opinions. You worry about future events. You worry about outcomes that have not happened yet. But there is a simple principle that can free your mind. Separate what you can control from what you cannot. You can control your effort. You can control your attitude. You can control your actions. You cannot control every result. You cannot control every opinion. You cannot control the entire future. When your mind begins to worry, ask one clear question.
is this within my control? If the answer is yes, take action. If the answer is no, practice letting go. Letting go does not mean giving up. It means releasing the illusion of control over everything. This creates space for calm. The sixth practice is practicing gratitude. Overthinking often focuses on what is wrong, what is missing, what might fail. But gratitude shifts your attention in a different direction, toward what is already good, toward what is already working, toward what already exists in your life. Every day there are small gifts around you: the warmth of sunlight, the comfort of a quiet room, a kind message from a friend, a moment of laughter. These moments are easy to ignore when the mind is busy worrying. But when you pause and notice them, something changes. Your brain begins to recognize safety instead of danger. You begin to feel grounded. Try a simple practice each night. Before sleep, think of 3 things you are grateful for. They do not need to be big. Small moments are enough. Gratitude gently retrains the brain. It teaches the mind to see light instead of searching only for shadows. The 7th practice is accepting imperfection. Overthinking often comes from the desire to be perfect. Perfect decisions, perfect performance, perfect results. But perfection is an impossible standard. Every human being makes mistakes. Every path contains uncertainty. Growth happens through trial and error. Imagine a child learning to walk. They fall many times, but they do not sit on the floor analyzing every fall. They stand again, they try again, and slowly they learn balance.
Adults forget this simple truth. Mistakes are not signs of failure. They are signs of movement. When you accept imperfection, you release a huge amount of pressure. You allow yourself to experiment. You allow yourself to learn. You allow yourself to grow. Peace appears when you stop demanding perfection from life. The 8th practice is returning to the present moment. Overthinking lives in 2 places, the past and the future. The mind revisits old mistakes or imagines future problems. But peace exists only in the present moment, right now, this breath, this second. Look around you. Notice where you are. Feel your feet touching the ground. Feel your body sitting or standing. Listen to the sounds nearby. The present moment is always simple. The mind may be noisy, but reality is often calm. When you anchor your attention in what is happening now, the storm of thoughts becomes weaker. The present moment is the doorway to peace, and it is always open. Overthinking may feel powerful, but it is not stronger than awareness. Each time you pause, breathe, write, act, or return to the present, you weaken the old pattern. Slowly, your mind learns a new rhythm, a calmer rhythm. Instead of racing through endless questions, it begins to move with clarity. You still think, but your thoughts become tools, not traps. You still plan, but your plans no longer steal your peace. Life becomes lighter, moments become clearer, and something important returns: your inner quiet. Peace was never far away. It was simply hidden behind layers of unnecessary thinking. When those layers begin to fall, you rediscover something simple and powerful: a calm mind, a steady heart, and the freedom to live fully in this moment.
If this video inspired you or helped you learn something new, please take a moment to like, comment, share, and subscribe to the Motivation to Study English for 30 minutes every day. Your support is the energy that keeps us creating better and more meaningful videos every single day.